somehow he knew, right?
Yeah. What's it all about?
It's about ice discs and ice jams on rivers. So talking about a different kind of ice than what we've seen falling from the sky with freezing rain and accumulating on surfaces the past couple of days.
But
ice discs. These can take the internet by storm. They were posted on social media by Travel North Dakota, captured by Roxanne earlier this month in December. It kind of went viral on Facebook with these circular discs of ice, also called pancake ice, on the Red River earlier this month. It's really cool to see this site. You can see the little bit of a raised rim around them, a whole field of them, kind of off to the side here on the Red River where the flow wasn't as strong. So you need just the right conditions to form these ice discs. You need the right combination of temperature, wind, and waves. Calm enough conditions, you can kind of see where the main body of the Red River was flowing around it. This was kind of in a barrier area, protected area where the river was flowing a lot calmer, and it was able to form these ice discs when you had that temperature just below freezing. And there's some really interesting meteorology behind how these can form. This was also captured a couple weeks, just over a week ago, December 22nd, Apple Creek in Bismarck, by Bill. He sent me these photos of these ice discs on Apple Creek. Again, these circular, small discs of ice, in this case, with a little bit of a rim on the edges. Happens when you have that moving water breaking off pieces of ice that are spun and slowly sheared into these smooth circles from surrounding barriers or other pieces of ice. They can vary in size from just a few inches to multiple feet wide, and in an extreme case, this was a viral photo from a couple of years ago from NBC, the 100-yard wide swirling disc of ice in Maine. And again, kind of on a bend of the river here where the water is flowing a little bit calmer. We can kind of see the main flow of the river around it, but this was actually swirling around in that section of the river. Pretty cool stuff here. So again, you need the gentle flow, not much wind, and that temperature around 32 degrees to form slush or kind of a thin layer of ice on the surface of the river. It gets broken up and pushed back together and rotates thanks to the flow. So it's pretty rare, short-lived. You can have these on the river one day, the next day they could be gone. That swirling current, we call them eddies, which also happen in the atmosphere with the air. They kind of cause the collisions of the ice, and that can allow them to grow and get round edges. And those rims, they form when you have the splashing water around the discs that freeze and kind of form that lip. So as they slowly melt, the cold water underneath the discs can cause them to kind of rotate slowly. Usually you need a bit of a bigger ice disc for that to form. You can sometimes get these just before the whole river freezes up, and right now there's no ice on the Missouri River with our unseasonably mild temperatures we've had so far this fall and winter. Missouri River ice formation in Bismarck usually happens between early December and mid-January, remains in place for about 86 days on average. As that stationary ice forms on the river, it usually causes the levels of the river to rise between 2 and 6 feet. And closer to spring, when we get temperatures to warm again, the ice resists the river's flow less. There's less kind of friction underneath. As the underside of that sheet of ice, the whole river is frozen over at that point. The underside gets smoother through melting, and the river can return to its open phase. But the other topic I'm going to talk about today is ice jams.